Hello everyone. So once we are familiar with what are the components of the discrete event system simulation, then we move on to an algorithm. So in which we have different future event lists, and also we have how actually the discrete event simulation will work based on the event scheduling and time advance algorithm. So here the mechanism for advancing simulation time and guaranteeing that all events occur in correct chronological order is based on the future event list. So in the components we have seen that there is a future event list or an event list which will be consisting of set of events which will occur at some particular point of time. So these events will be if they occur in future, then they are known as a future event list. So what this future event list consists of means the mechanism for advancing the simulation time and guaranteeing that all events occur in correct chronological order is based on this future event list. So to contain all event notices for events that have been scheduled to occur at a future time. So these events which have been listed in the future event list will be scheduled to occur in future, to be ordered by event time, meaning that the events are arranged chronologically, that is the events times satisfy. So that's what, like, they will be scheduled to occur at some particular point of time, and at that point the events will be uh, occurred, and there will be a change in the state of the system to be ordered by event time. That is meaning that the events are arranged chronologically. Scheduling a future event means that at the instant an activity begins, its duration is computed or drawn as a sample from a statistical distribution, and the end activity event together with its event time is placed on the future event list. The sequence of actions which a simulator must perform to advance the clock system snapshot is called the event scheduling time advanced algorithm. So what is meant by the event scheduling and time advanced algorithm means the sequence of actions which a simulator must perform to advance the clock system snapshot. That is, in order to um, perform the perform to advance the clock system snapshot, we are going to uh, take certain actions, the sequence of actions which will be occurring in terms of the events, and which will be making the simulator to move forward. So that is called as event scheduling and time advance algorithm. So here we have the steps which has to be followed in this algorithm. So first step is remove the event notice from the imminent event from FEL. That is the first event based on its time, so which is having the shortest time. So that event has to be removed from the future event list. For example, here we are considering event 3 at some time, clock time t. It has to be removed from the future event list, because this is the time which where that event 3 has to occur. Advance clock to imminent event time. So now the clock actually always the clock will be starting from 0 to it will continue as and when event occurs. So now if the event 3 occurs at time t, then the clock time will be changed from 0 to t1, or from 0 to T1. Here in our example, they are considering it as it was before the clock time was R, and it has been changed to T1. So a third step is execute the eminent event. The event which we have removed from the future event list, we have to execute it. For example, in the single channel queue or in the grocery system problem, so there we have two types of events. One is the arrival and the other one is departure. Either it has to arrive or it has to departure. So here, based on what type of event it is, either it is like arrival or a departure, then we have to update the system state, change the entity attributes, and also change the membership as needed. So based on what type of event occurs, we have to make certain changes and we have to update the state of the system. We have to change the attributes of the system and set memberships as needed. Then after once it has been executed, then step 4 is generate the future event list. If any future event list has to be generated newly, then it can be generated and placed their event notices on PEL ranked by event time. Step 5 is update cumulative statistics and counters. So this is about the event scheduling and time advanced algorithm. So you have 5 different steps here. First step is remove the event notice for the imminent event from the future event list. Then advance the clock to the imminent event time. Then third step is execute the imminent event. Then fourth step is to generate the future event list. And the fifth step is update the cumulative statistics and counters. So once this has been done, we are familiar with the what actually is going on in the discrete event simulation algorithm, and we can solve the problems based on this algorithm. So next, moving to the manual simulation using event scheduling algorithm. So here the system consists of those customers in the waiting line plus the one checking out. The model has the following components. System state, it can be given by LQ, that is LQ of t and LS of t, where LQ of t is the number of customers in the waiting line and LS is the number of customers which are being served at the time t. Entities, the server and the customers are not explicitly modeled except in terms of the state variables above. Events, there are 2 events, arrival and departure. Stopping event is E, scheduled to occur at time 60. Event notices A, T representing an arrival event to occur at future time t, and D, T representing a customer departure at future time t. E, 60 representing the simulation stop event at future time 60. Activities, what are the activities taking place means inter arrival time, service time, and delay, customer time spent waiting in the line. In this model, the FEL will always contain either 2 or 3 event notices. So here the manual simulation using event scheduling for the arrival and departure of the customers in a single channel queue, which consists of a single waiting line. So it consists of the system states, entities, events, event notices, activities, and delay. So the system state will be represented with the help of some notations like LQ of t and LS of t, where LQ of t is nothing but the number of customers in the waiting line, and LS of t is nothing but the number of customers who are being served. Either the value will be 0 or 1 based on whether there is some customer being served or no. Entities, the server and the customers are not explicitly modeled except in terms of the state variables above. So next is the events. So there are 2 events which occur, arrival A and departure is D. Stopping event, that is the ending event which occur at the end of the simulation. So that is represented with capital E, scheduled to occur at time 60. So here we have considered the stopping time of the clock at 60. So till 60, how many customers will arrive, how many customers will departure, everything will be noted down within the simulation table. So event notices, so they may be either A, T, D, T or E, 60. So what this A, T means, representing an arrival event, that is if some customer arrives at that particular time t, then it will be noted as A, that value which occurs, which will be noted in the t value. D, T means it is departure of the customer once it has been served, and it is represented by D, T at some particular time t. E, 60 means end event, that is at the end of the simulation. E, 60. So activities, inter-arrival time and the service time. So inter-arrival time of the customers and how at what time the customers are being served. Delay, customer time spent in the waiting line. So in this model, the FEL will always contain either 2 or 3 event notices. So this is about the manual simulation using event scheduling algorithm. So there are 2 types. One is event scheduling, that is that event scheduling time advanced algorithm. The other one is manual simulation using event scheduling algorithm. Thank you.